to one very important component in the book that is so commonplace, and it was for me too. Many moms, dads, families, homeschooling families in general, that even if you're thinking of homeschooling or maybe you're in those initial stages of it, it's facing the backlash of, I call them naysayers or doubters or people who are just, curious. Sometimes they're well-meaning, sometimes they are not, who challenge you in wanting what you're going to do basically with your own children. And sometimes it's from a place of love, but still sometimes it can really sting, especially when it comes from the people who are closest to us, close family, close friends. Um, what advice do you have for homeschooling parents who are facing that kind of backlash? What would you say to them?
Well, I'll first say that it's very hurtful when you know you've been called to something and you start getting excited about it, and
Yeah.
then you have people shoot it down. It's very hurtful. And I had family that really did not understand at all, and were not very supportive at all at the beginning. My parents, they didn't say a whole lot, so they didn't say anything negative, but they didn't say a whole lot. So I wouldn't say they were against it because they knew I was serious, but they just didn't understand.
Yeah.
Um, Other family members, my in-laws and different people in the family, were vocal about not understanding and not and why are you doing this? So it is hurtful. But
Yeah.
I just want to encourage you, and hopefully your husband's on board. That was a big blessing for
Mhm.
me because I
Yes.
came to my husband. I haven't told this story yet, but one of the main reasons I started thinking about homeschooling as an option was my kids were at ballet, and there was a ballet mother there that homeschooled her three girls, and we became friends, and I would watch her. And so after a year or two, I started thinking, this is pretty neat what she's doing, because I had
Mhm.
no experience, absolutely no experience with homeschooling back in the early 2000s. And so I started talking to my husband about it. And I said, I'm really beginning to think that maybe this is an option for us. And he's just such an encourager. He always has been. And he said, I I don't know anything about it, and it does seem sort of weird to me, but I know you, and if you are serious and you think you can do it, then go for it. And he's just that kind of person, and so to have his support was so important. If I don't know what I would have done truthfully if I didn't have his support. So I guess I should speak to those of you who maybe your husband's not on board. Pray about it. Try to show some success stories or share things that you see that work. Bring a workable plan in front of him, showing him
Yes.
that,
Make
this
a
is what I'm
pitch.
going to, exactly,
Mhm.
this is what I'm going to do. This is the curriculum I'm going to use. These are the groups we're going to be a part of. So we're going to have community. That will go a long way. But I think the main thing for me was it was people watching what I was doing and watching the kids, and after a couple years seeing the reality of it's okay. They're
Mhm.
okay. They're actually more than okay. By the time my girls were in high school, oh, my family, they're huge homeschool advocates. I mean, they'll tell anyone, my grandchildren were
Convert.
homeschooled. Yeah, my grandchildren were homeschooled and they did this. So
Mhm.
I think sometimes I'm sorry to say, you may just have to wait it out and
Mhm.
see what happens. But I said it earlier, stand firm in your conviction. Know that you're doing what's best for your family. If you feel called,
Mhm.
you're doing what's best for your family, and you're the mom. And you know what?
Mhm.
You're in charge. You're in charge of your kids. Second to what God wants you to
Absolutely.
do, for what He wants you to do for them. You're the one that's making calling the shots for how your child is schooled. Stand firm in that and be proud of that. Be happy. That's what a
Mhm.
blessing that you're in charge of your child's education. Wow. Never take it for granted.
No. And you know what? Full stop. There's nothing else I can say to that because I'm just going to nod agreement in everything that you said. You don't have to make it any more complicated than that. Full stop.